It's Danielle, aka Danny Gossip Girl. I've got the scoop on Bravo and Blinds. Let's go. When the stars come out to play, you know where to stay. Tune into the buzz, it's the talk of the day. From Bravo shows to the latest celeb spree, we've got the tea, come sip it with me. Danny Gossip Girl, pop culture exposé.
Welcome back to Pop Culture Expose. I am your host, Danielle, and today we are diving into the 2010s, a decade where social media gave fans direct access to celebrities, and boy, did gossip evolve. From Kim Kardashian's dominance to the rise of influencers and viral fame, the game changed in ways we could have never predicted. And I'm happy to be joined by later none other than Krista Marie. So can't wait to get into that interview. But before we get into it, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a review. And for those that are following me on YouTube, as always, you are in for a visual delight. There is a lot to go over today and lots of great additions. So let's get started on the wild ride that is the 2010s.
From Hollywood lights to the gossip blinds, catch the news, don't get left behind. Don't miss it. Don't miss it.
The 2010s were a transformative period for pop culture, where the digital world fully merged with celebrity and entertainment. This decade redefined fame, created new media empires, and turned everyday people into stars, with nothing more than phone and a Wi-Fi connection. Or maybe also a sex tape like the past decade. But let's break down the biggest shifts that shaped this time. The 2010s were the era when social media became the dominant force in pop culture. Platforms like Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat allowed for celebrities to bypass traditional media and speak directly to their fans. Twitter became, of course, the go-to for stars to make announcements, address scandals, and share their thoughts in real time. Instagram, though, launched in 2010, and this became the ultimate tool for curating a more candid, behind-the-scenes glimpse into their lives. Their access to celebrities was revolutionary. Fans no longer had to rely on gossip magazines or talk shows for updates. They could follow their favorite stars and receive constant, often personal updates, but this new transparency themselves left them more vulnerable than ever to public scrutiny, and scandals spread at lightning speed. You simply cannot talk about the 2010s, just like the 2000s, without mentioning the Kardashians. What started as a reality show in 2000 became a full-blown cultural takeover by the 2010s. Kim Kardashian became a master of social media game, using Instagram and Twitter to build a personal brand that went beyond reality TV. By 2010, she was one of the most followed people on Instagram, and her sisters followed suit. The Kardashians revolutionized the idea of being famous for being famous. They turned their names into brands with beauty lines, fashion labels, apps, and mobile games. Kylie Jenner, by the end of the decade, became one of the youngest self-made billionaires thanks to her cosmetics company, all while maintaining constant contact with her fan base through social media. The Kardashians didn't just shape pop culture, they redefined what it meant to be a modern-day mogul. The 2010s also gave us the influencer era. It was a new type of celebrity. Again, the influencer. Platforms like Instagram, YouTube, and later TikTok turned ordinary people into stars. Whether it was beauty bloggers, fitness gurus, or lifestyle content creators. These influencers built massive audience without traditional media platforms. Brands quickly caught on, and the influencer marketing became a multi-billion-dollar industry by the end of the decade. Celebrities had to compete with influencers for the spotlight, and often they joined forces. Whether it was beauty collaborations between influencers and A-list stars or red carpet appearances together, influencers blurred the lines between traditional celebrity and online fame. When the new kind of celebrity was born in the 2010s, not on the silver screen or the glossy magazines, but on social media, influencer culture led by platforms like Instagram, YouTube, and eventually TikTok, it reshaped the entertainment landscape, turning everyday people into overnight stars. Suddenly, you didn't need Hollywood connections or a record deal to build a following. All you needed was a phone and a perspective and the ability to engage with your audience. It all started with YouTube. Back in the early 2000s, YouTubers like Jenna Marbles, PewDiePie, and beauty guru Michelle Phan were building huge audiences by posting content that felt authentic, relatable, and often unfiltered. They weren't playing characters or sticking to a script. They were building and being themselves. This authentically struck a chord with viewers, and soon YouTubers weren't just entertainers, they were influencers, shaping the opinions, tastes, and habits of millions of fans. Then came Instagram. Launched in 2010, Instagram became the hub for visual content, and it was perfectly suited for the influencer boom. With its focus on aesthetics and lifestyle, Instagram allowed influencers to build entire personal brands based on their looks, travel, adventures, fitness routines, and more. Stars like Kylie Jenner and Kim Kardashian already had traditional fame, but they capitalized on Instagram's reach to turn their followers into consumers, paving the way for influencer-driven business. Meanwhile, new influencers like Shara Fragani, who became a fashion blogger, were proving that you could build a multi-million-dollar brand purely from social media. The rise of the influencer culture also blurred the lines between traditional celebrities and online stars. Influencers began collaborating with online stars. And when that collaboration began, the A-listers and major fashion houses like Chanel and Dior started inviting social media stars to sit front row at Fashion Week. Influencers weren't just playing the role of celebrities, they were reshaping what it meant to be a celebrity. And it wasn't just fashion and beauty. YouTubers like Logan Paul and makeup artists like Jeffree Star crossed over into mainstream media, while fitness influencers like Kayla Iceniz sold millions of fitness programs. The influencer world was no longer a side gig. It was a big business. Brands quickly realized the power of influencer marketing, leading to partnerships where influencers could promote products directly to their followers, often with more success than traditional advertising. Podcasts also became part of the influencer ecosystem. Stars like Jack Shepard from Armchair Expert or Joe Rogan from the Joe Rogan Experience use podcasts as a deep way to deepen their connections with fans while exploring a variety of topics from comedy and personal growth to deep dive interviews. Some of the ones that I have loved from the beginning, and they have been around for 8 years or more, over thousands of episodes, is course, Heather McDonald from Juicy Scoop, and also Kate Casey with Reality Life with Kate Casey. Those are some of the two OGs that I have been following from the start, and I am grateful for all of the other podcasters and this avenue that this led me down so many years later. And to all of the other podcasters and content creators out there, seriously, go brush your shoulders off. It's hard to do, and to do it day in, day out, and various pressures that come with that as well. Not that there's not pressures in life, just keep on doing what you're doing and making your art and following your passion. The rise of influencer culture wasn't just about personal fame. It was a revolution in how entertainment was produced and consumed. Traditional gatekeepers of fame, movie studios, record labels, and talent agencies suddenly found themselves competing with social media algorithms, and the playing field was leveled. Audiences had more control than ever on who became famous and how they consumed content, often preferring influencers' relatability to the polished image of traditional celebrities. But with that great power does come great responsibility. The influence culture also sparked controversies around transparency, particularly when it came to paid partnerships, and issues of authenticity and faking it for likes led to criticisms as audience became more aware of influencers' motivations. It also prompted the rise of cancel culture, where influencers face public backlash and also potential career ruin over scandals and bad behavior.
People are upset with Hailey Bailey because she posted this video.
Let them eat cake.
So TikToker Hailey Bailey just went to the Met Gala, and while she was at the Met Gala, she decided to make a TikTok with a very interesting sound. You see, while at the Met Gala, she posted a video with a sound that said, "Let them eat cake." For those that don't know, "Let them eat cake" is a saying supposedly made famous by Marie Antoinette. The story goes that Marie was told that her starving subjects have no food, and her response was, quote, "Let them eat cake." Essentially, it shows how out of touch Marie was due to her being both royal and rich. Now, due to that context, people feel that what Hailey Bailey did was not only extremely out of touch, but some people are even going as far to call it sinister for her to use that audio. A lot of people are also saying that her deciding to use that audio in times like these, you know, times where people in America can't afford food, and people in other countries are not only getting eliminated, but they have absolutely no access to food in the country that they're in. Now, because of all that, people feel that someone like Hailey Bailey, who is both rich and famous, should not be using audios that essentially flaunts that wealth in all of our faces.
Let them eat cake.
So that was a video from the Met Gala of influencer Hailey Bailey, which caused some major backlash. And this is a screenshot of the video on her page before she deleted it. This was left up for days, and all of the comments were like, "I can't believe this is still up." I mean, it got at least 21.2 million views before she decided to delete it. Even when she posted her apology video, this video was still up. And we'll talk about that apology video in just a moment. But Hailey Bailey kind of started a movement. Not one that I think she's particularly excited about, but a movement nonetheless. She got up to 10 million followers, and now she's obviously at around 9.8. And now there's a huge movement for regular people to block celebrities, or any celebrity that doesn't speak out about Palestine. As someone who works in PR and marketing, let's take a deep dive. She pays 17 grand a month for her apartment. She purposely selected a dialed back area, hair back, low-key dress, all intentional to be relatable.
Influencer culture changed the entertainment industry by democratizing fame, allowing anyone with a unique voice to reach millions. It was a decade that redefined celebrity, not by where you have been or what studio you signed by, but by how you connect with an audience. The influencer economy isn't just a trend, it's the future of entertainment, business, and how we engage the world around us. The 2010s were also a time of immense social change, particularly when it came to women's rights and empowerment. Beyonce's 2013 self-titled album was more than just a commercial success. It became a cultural movement with anthems like Flawless or Run the World, Girls. She positioned herself as a fierce advocate for women's empowerment, blending pop culture with activism. By the end of the decade, the #MeToo movement rocked Hollywood, exposing rampant sexual misconduct and bringing powerful men like Harvey Weinstein to justice. This movement wasn't just a social media storm. It shifted the conversation around consent, power dynamics, and how women are treated in the industries across the world. The impact of Me Too is how Hollywood and the world changed after this watershed moment. So let's dive into some of those details. In 2017, the Me Too moment exploded onto the global stage, truly changing the way that we talk about power, consent, and sexual harassment. What started as a simple hashtag quickly became a powerful rallying cry for millions of women and men who had been affected by sexual misconduct, particularly in the workplace. But its most immediate visible impact was felt in Hollywood, where the powerful and seemingly untouchable were finally held accountable. Well, at least some of them. It all began with the fall of Harvey Weinstein, after a series of bombshell reports revealed decades of SA allegations against the movie mogul. Weinstein became the face of an industry that had been harboring and protecting abusers for far too long. His downfall sparked a domino effect, where women across the entertainment industry started coming forward to share their stories of harassments, often naming high-profile figures like Kevin Spacey, Louis C.K., and many others. And of course, it wasn't just women coming forward, it was men coming forward as well. And we all know what's been coming out this year with Puff Daddy and more. But for Hollywood, the consequences were immediate and far-reaching. Major studios, which had long turned a blind eye to abusive behavior, were forced to re-examine their behavior and their practices. Contracts now include morality clauses to prevent bad actors from continuing their careers unchecked. Entire productions were canceled or recast to remove individuals accused of misconduct, like Kevin Spacey in the House of Cards. But beyond these surface changes, the movement has encouraged a shift in a very cultural part of the entertainment industry. It is no longer about removing the bad apples. It is about dismantling the power structures that allowed this behavior to persist for so long. The cultural shift was not limited to just Hollywood, but the Me Too movement rippled across industries, from tech to media to government, exposing misconduct at all levels of power. It sparked important conversations about consent, workplace dynamics, and gender equality, with companies worldwide implementing stronger policies to protect their employees. The movement was also forced the public to reconsider how we view the stories and behaviors of powerful men. In the past, there was a tendency to separate the artists from their actions, but Me Too shifted that narrative. The reckoning wasn't just about punishment, it was about accountability and the responsibility of public figures to act with integrity. While Me Too was undeniably created a meaningful change, the journey is far from over. Critics of the movement point out that many industries are still resistant to change, and that true progress requires not just awareness, but structural reform. Nevertheless, Me Too sparked a global conversations, and that continues to resonate today, reminding us all that silence is no longer an option when it comes to injustice. This movement didn't just change Hollywood, it changed the world. It's also part of the reason why I started this podcast, to bring light behind the man behind the blinds who allegedly falls into similar categories. The way we consumed media changed drastically in the 2010s with the rise of streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, and later Disney Plus. I mean, we have all of them. There are just so many, it's really ridiculous, but it is what it is. Regardless, though, viewers no longer had to wait a week after a release for their favorite shows. Netflix's release of House of Cards in 2013 marked the beginning of the binge watch era, where entire seasons were dropped at once. By the end of the decade, traditional TV was losing its grip, and streaming services had taken over the entertainment landscape. Let's dive into the top 10 pop culture moments of the 2010s. First up, we have the royal wedding of Prince William and Kate Middleton, which took place in 2011. In April 2011, billions of people worldwide were glued to their screens as Prince William, second in line to the British throne, married Kate Middleton in a grand ceremony at Westminster Abbey.
April the 29th, 2011. The day royal fans had been eagerly awaiting. Crowds turned out in their masses to celebrate the couple's special day. The day began with guests entering Westminster Abbey. Friends, family members, dignitaries and politicians took their place in the church. Then audiences began spotting the odd celebrity. Elton John and David and Victoria Beckham were just a few of the famous faces making an appearance. Prince William left Clarence House with his best man, his brother Prince Harry. Both men wore their military uniforms. While William was greeting guests, the most famous guest was making her way to the Abbey. Her arrival was announced with fanfare. But it was Catherine that everyone was eager to see. Crowds cheered as she drove through the city, her final journey as Miss Middleton. As she stepped out of the car, it was the first time we got a good look at her beautiful Alexander McQueen dress. Designed by Sarah Burton, it truly was a dress fit for a princess. All eyes were on Catherine as she made her way down the aisle with her father Michael. And when the soon-to-be married couple met at the altar, the world watched as they nervously giggled. After the service, the newly titled Duke and Duchess of Cambridge climbed into a waiting carriage to be taken through the crowds back to Buckingham Palace. Crowds cheered as the couple greeted them from the palace balcony, and this was the moment everyone was waiting for. And after waving to the watching world, the newlyweds made their way inside to start life together as a married couple.
It was a fairy tale moment, setting trends, and the couple becoming global superstars. The wedding didn't just captivate royal watchers, it cemented the royals as enduring pop culture icons for the 21st century. This moment was revitalized public interest in the British monarchy, setting the stage for an era that highlighted royal media coverage that would only increase in intensity with the rise of social media. Next up is, and this is in no particular order this time around, going in chronological order, is Beyonce's 2013 Super Bowl halftime performance. So in February 2013, Beyonce took to the Super Bowl halftime stage and delivered a performance that would go down in history, performing hits like Crazy in Love and Single Ladies. Queen Bey brought out Destiny's Child for a reunion too that set fans into a frenzy. Her fierce choreography, stunning vocals, and pure star power made it one of the greatest Super Bowl performances of all time. Beyond the entertainment, this performance solidified Beyonce as not only a pop star, but a cultural force to be reckoned with. She wasn't just performing, she was redefining what it was to be an entertainer in the modern age. Next up at number 3 is in 2013, Orange is the New Black revolutionizes streaming and TV. They don't get enough credit and they should have gotten paid more, but let's get into it. When Orange is the New Black premiered in 2013 on Netflix, it was more than just a TV show. It was a cultural revolution. The series, which explored the lives of female inmates, was groundbreaking and in its portrayal of diverse characters, including women of different races, sexual orientations, and backgrounds. It wasn't just a critical and commercial success. It was a key moment in the rise of Netflix and the shift towards binge watching culture. Orange is the New Black proved that streaming platforms could create high quality, inclusive content that challenged the norms of traditional TV. The show's success also opened the door for more diverse, daring storytelling in mainstream media. Next up at number 4 in 2014 is Kim Kardashian breaks the internet. So as we know, she graced the cover of Paper magazine with a series of provocative images that claimed to break the internet. And that's exactly what they did. The internet exploded with memes, parodies, and debates, making Kim's cover a viral sensation. This moment wasn't just about shock value. It represented the power of social media and viral culture in 2010s. Kim used her online presence to elevate herself from reality TV star to cultural phenomenon. The phrase breaking the internet became synonymous with something or someone having an outsized, unavoidable impact on the digital world, something that the Kardashians had mastered. Number 5 is in 2015 when Caitlyn Jenner went through her transition. So Caitlyn Jenner's public transition in 2015 marked a watershed moment for transgender visibility. When Caitlyn
Jenner, formerly known as Olympic superstar Bruce Jenner, she has finally made her entrance as a woman on the cover of Vanity Fair magazine. Jenner publicly announced her intentions to transition just a couple of months ago, but there is living proof on the front of the magazine that that transition is now largely complete. CBC's Yelena Adzik is here with the details. So let's talk first of all about Caitlyn Jenner. Did everybody know this was coming out, or did it just land today?
We did know that a while ago with an interview with Diane Sawyer, Caitlyn Jenner identified herself as transgender, but it wasn't clear exactly to what extent we would be seeing this transition. Even in the own reality show with Kim Kardashian, she wasn't completely forthright in saying it's going to be a complete transition to womanhood. Now, here you look at the cover, the long flowing brown locks, the bodysuit, a very fitted kind of bodysuit, clearly showing the strong, large portion of the body there.
A large part of the transition has taken place, which I'm not sure everybody realized until this photo shoot.
Well, it's true, and this certainly is a coming out in the fullest sense. This is being met with a lot of declarations of support from many people, including family members. I'm going to give you a look right now at what we know of as Bruce Jenner, although this was during the transition with the longer hair that you see there, and then also this shot now being called Caitlyn Jenner. And you have to remember, I think that one of the reasons why there is so much interest in this today is that we aren't just talking about any transition. We're talking about a person who was really the alpha male.
Right.
This was someone who was an Olympic athlete at the highest level, of course. And then also the fame continued through with the reality show where we saw, there you get a look at some of the vintage footage there, Diana, with this idea that this is the man of all men.
He was the model male, the guy on the
Exactly.
front of the cereal box. I mean, really, if you were going to pick someone,
Well, that's it.
to make such a pronounced change,
Yeah.
you'd probably go for Bruce Jenner, just because for a generation he represented, as you say, the alpha male.
Exactly. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of a look right now of behind the scenes of that photo shoot at Vanity Fair. That's Annie Leibovitz, of course, the famous photographer at the helm. And it was really quite something to hear and see little tidbits coming out from the interview. This issue will be hitting newsstands in July. But the idea that Caitlyn Jenner now says, quote, "If I was lying on my deathbed and I'd kept this secret and never did anything about it, I would be lying there saying, quote, you just blew your entire life." That's what she told the magazine. And so now it would really appear that the transition is complete.
It takes some getting used to, though. Like, if I'm really completely honest,
Sure.
you see the cover and I'm not ready to say I'm uncomfortable, but I'm not even sure what my reaction is, because it is such a jarring change.
I think that's just it. I think it's striking. It's quite it's a strong image. And you know, when you take a look at this tweet that I'm about to show you, this is something that she knows people are going to be shocked by, but she says, "I'm so happy after such a long struggle to be living my true self. Welcome to the world, Caitlyn. Can't wait for you to get to know her /me." So, like I say, being met with a lot of messages of support, obviously, clearly, but also a lot of discussion and sharing online.
Which is part of the bravery of coming forward, right? And being willing to be the person that discussion is focused around.
It's true. I think the bottom line here, you hit the nail on the head there. Bravery.
When Caitlyn appeared on the cover of Vanity Fair with the headline, "Call Me Caitlyn," it wasn't just a personal announcement. It was a cultural milestone. Jenner, one of the most high-profile transgender figures in history, used her platform to raise awareness for transgender issues. Her transition sparked important conversations around gender identity acceptance and what it means to be true to oneself in the face of public scrutiny. Caitlyn's journey, followed closely by the media, opened doors for greater representation and discussion of LGBTQ+ topics in the mainstream culture. 2015, we have the dress. Do you remember the dress? If you don't, let me refresh you. In 2015, a photo of a dress posted online sparked one of the biggest debates of the decade. Was it black and blue or was it white and gold? This viral sensation took over social media, with friends, families, and even scientists weighing in on the optical illusion. What made the dress so impactful wasn't just the debate over its colors. it was the quintessential moment of the internet age, showing how quickly something trivial could capture global attention.
Already, a dress has broken the internet. That's right, you heard us right. It is the buzz story of the morning. Here's the question that is blowing up on social media. Take a look at this dress. What color do you see? Okay, bring that a little closer. I gotta take a look. I say golden white. What do you see, Joe?
Golden white, yeah.
Okay, if you think it is a simple answer, just try polling your friends and family, though. No one seems to agree. Some say gold and white. Others say black and blue. This whole thing started yesterday when a Scottish musician posted a picture of the $77 off-the-rack dress on Tumblr. Then it went viral. BuzzFeed says that its posting on the dress broke the site's traffic records, viewed nearly 21 million times and counting. Celebrities, sports stars, and many others weighing in on social media as well. Kim Kardashian tweeting, "What color is that dress? I see white and gold. Kanye sees black and blue. Who's colorblind?" We will tell you what Taylor Swift and many others have to say just a little bit later.
That's our lead. That's interesting.
It also highlighted how social media had become the ultimate vehicle for creating and spreading viral, meme-worthy moments. Number 7, we kind of did already get into this. 2017 was the MeToo movement.
And I'm the founder of the MeToo movement. We founded MeToo over a decade ago to support young women of color in the community we lived who were survivors of sexual violence. In the years since we started, we've expanded to support adults and people across the gender spectrum who have been holding the trauma of sexual violence for many, many years. Now, since the expansion or explosion of MeToo in 2017, we have a unique opportunity to expand our platform and continue a national conversation around sexual violence in this country and countries around the world. But we want to be clear about what the MeToo movement is about. There's lots of conversation about it being about taking down powerful men or about targeting people, and it's not about any of those things. This is a movement about giving people access to a healing journey, to make sure the most marginalized amongst us have an opportunity to start a pathway to healing from the trauma of sexual violence. It's also a movement about radical community healing. We believe that communities have to come together to make them safe and to protect the most vulnerable people from sexual violence. We do this through 2 ideas. One is called empowerment through empathy. We believe in the power of empathy to support people. When 2 people exchange the words "Me Too," it is literally an exchange of empathy between people that says, "I hear you, I see you, and I believe you." Once people have that, it gives them permission to start a healing journey. And that's what we're about. The other idea is radical community healing. And that means that in all the ways that sexual violence is allowed to flourish in our communities, we want to work against that. Ultimately, this is a movement about eradicating sexual violence. We want to teach people how to lean into their joy so that they can move away from the trauma. And we want to teach people that we can, as a collective, interrupt sexual violence wherever it lives. And we want to do that together. We need everybody doing all the work they can in all the ways they can to interrupt sexual violence. And we invite you.
The MeToo moment was truly one of the most significant cultural moments in the 2010s, beginning in 2017 when the movement gained momentum as women from all over the world shared their stories of sexual harassment and assault, especially in the workplace. The hashtag went viral, leading again to the downfall of powerful figures like Harvey Weinstein and more. But it wasn't just a social trend. It marked a turning point in how society addresses sexual misconduct and power dynamics, especially in the industry of Hollywood. It forever changed the landscape of gender politics, holding abusers accountable, and giving survivors a powerful voice. 8 is the Epstein scandal in 2019. So In 2019, financier Jeffrey Epstein's arrest was on charges of sex trafficking, and it sent shockwaves through media and pop culture. His connections to powerful figures, from celebrities to politicians, fueled global fascination and a growing sense of outrage. When Epstein died under suspicious circumstances in a New York jail cell, the scandal deepened, sparking widespread conspiracy theories. Epstein's crimes and his death opened a public conversation about power, privilege, and accountability. This dark moment in pop culture forced a reckoning about the abuse of power and the lengths to which certain elites could go to protect their reputations. The Epstein scandal remains one of the most significant and disturbing events of the decade. It's also one that I spent 2 years investigating. Part of the reason why I made my Danny Gossip Gal Girl handle was because of my investigation into that and the attention that it was getting, and also the collaboration I did at that time with EntyLawyer on that as well. But I'm very much in tune to that and will provide links if you need any more information on my 52 by 52 inch big network map that connects all the players. Next up is number 9, 2019, the Game of Thrones finale. After 8 seasons of blood, betrayal, and dragons, Game of Thrones came to an explosive and controversial end in 2019. Fans were divided. Some loved the shocking final moments, while others were left outraged by character arcs that felt rushed or out of sync with earlier seasons. Regardless of opinions, the finale became one of the most discussed television events in history, capping off a decade-long journey that had transformed TV. Game of Thrones set a new standard for cinematic storytelling on the small screen and showed how deeply a television show could embed itself in global pop culture. Next up at number 10 is Scandal in 2019, where this massive cheating scandal rocked Vanderpump Rules and spilled into mainstream media coverage.
12:06 p.m., an article went live on TMZ.com. 10 sentences, 5 stylistically questionable ellipses, and 623 words, all preceded by one unbelievable headline.
Tom Sandoval and Ariana Madix call it quits. Allegations he cheated with co-star Raquel Leviss.
Raquel Leviss of the Arizona Levisses. This info drop read like a chaotic Bravo Mad Libs, because some Bravo bells cannot be unrung. The news drops that Tom Sandoval has been cheating on Ariana with Raquel. Do you remember where you were, what you were doing when you heard the news, and kind of your immediate reaction at the time?
The day the world changed.
It was a Friday.
I was shocked. I was like, wait, what? Like, how? I read it and I was like, this has to be fake. Ariana is a great partner. There's just no way he would do something like this, like in such a sloppy and stupid way, and get caught at the very least. We were blown away. We were so confused. So then you go online to realize that Ariana has deactivated her Instagram.
Tom Sandoval's affair with Raquel Leviss, now known as Rachel Leviss, while in a long-term relationship with Ariana Madix, sent shockwaves through the Bravo universe, dominating gossip sites and social media discussions. Dubbed Scandival, and the woman behind that, who I will make sure to give credit on in the YouTube video version of it, the woman who actually coined that term, I apologize, I can't remember your name off the top of it, but she deserves credit for it. It became a cultural talking point around reality TV's ability to blur the lines between real life and entertainment. Scandal also highlighted real-world implications as fans dissected every move, interview, and post in real time, making it one of the most buzzed about moments of the year. It is also a pop culture moment that I dove deep into as well and have a 56 by 56 inch timeline if you ever need to get caught up. Also, there is a really great series done by The Ringer, and it is called An American Scandal. If you ever need to get caught up, I recommend checking that out. It's a great evergreen series that you can listen to it every time, that I had the honored privilege to be a part of because of.
Therapist once told me that the same way that some people seek safety through financial security or physical comforts, other people may seek it through data collection. The more we can know about something, the more we feel like we can control it. Maybe if we could find out what we missed, then we could find out how we missed it. Find out how Ariana missed it. And maybe then, none of us would ever miss it again. Danielle Peterson is the queen of data collection and the creator of the 56 by 56 inch Scandival timeline PDF I previously referenced. Danny Gossip Gal, as she's known on Instagram, grew up on celebrity gossip and blind items, and eventually cut her organizational teeth on timelining the Jeffrey Epstein case. When Scandival broke, her mind immediately began jumping through time for potential clues and Easter eggs, starting with the most recent. It's easy to think back to the time when Scandival clues were turning up left and right and think we were all conducting this investigation together. But I know good and well that people like me were just following the trail of people like Danielle, out there in the Instagram investigative trenches. If she's Olivia Benson, then I'm Ice-T, just never able to get over the shock of what's being laid out before my eyes here in the Special Scandival Victims Unit.
I sadly feel like a little bit of a stalker. I do apologize to them. I went through their Instagrams from top to bottom, looking at everything, and you could tell over the years, there was some disconnect. You could definitely tell that Rachel was a huge fan of his as well, looking back at posts.
Because of my work. But those were all of the pop culture moments. Definitely curious to know, what are your favorites?
Celeb delight, get your fix of pop culture every night. Ooh, what's happening in Beverly Hills?
All right, gossip lovers, buckle up. You know those blinds we can't help but click into. The ones that are about reality TV stars hiding secret lives, shocking affairs, or wild pasts. Well, today we are diving into some of the craziest blinds from Crazy Days and Nights over the past few years. And spoiler alert, these stories aren't quite what they seem. From supposed secret kids to scandalous fake relationships, we are debunking the wildest claims, one juicy rumor at a time. So get comfy, grab your tea, and let's separate the fact from the fiction in these blinds that had everyone talking. First up, we have the reality star's secret child, a theme from last week. So let's kick things off with one of the wildest blinds to hit Crazy Days and Nights in recent years. This blind claimed that Kylie Jenner, yes, the queen of the lip kits and Instagram selfies, had a secret child hidden away from the public. According to the blind, Kylie managed to keep this child completely out of the spotlight, even while living as one of the most photographed and talked about people on the planet. Now, considering that Kylie's life is one of the most scrutinized on social media, the idea that she could have kept a child and baby secret feels quite a bit of a stretch. And here's the proof against it. Kylie's been quite open about her daughter, Stormi, sharing adorable photos and giving fans glimpses into their lives. Plus, there's been no credible evidence whatsoever to support this blind. So, while it might be fun to imagine, the secret child theory just doesn't add up to a woman who has been honest about her children to date. Next, we have the reality star's secret affair with a politician. Well, these rumors tend to run in the family. So, moving on, let's talk about the blind that had everyone buzzing about Kim Kardashian and Van Jones. This one claimed that Kim and Van were secretly dating and hiding their affair from the public. With Kim's high-profile divorce from Kanye West, the timing of this rumor seemed too juicy to ignore. But as tempting as it was to believe, both Kim and Van have publicly denied any romantic involvement, stating that they are just friends. In fact, Van Jones himself spoke out saying he admired Kim for her work on prison reform, but that they weren't
in the summer of 2021, the Skims founder and the CNN host found themselves making headlines for their friendship. So many people suspected that the pair could be dating that Andy Cohen even addressed the rumors during the Keeping Up with the Kardashians reunion show.
There are rumors that you're dating Van Jones.
Van texted me and was like, "This rumor has gotten me so many dates, and I'm so grateful. So I
rumors
owe you."
That you're dating Maluma?
No, I'm not dating either one. Not Van Jones, not Maluma.
But in a new interview on the Amazon original podcast Uncommon Ground with Van Jones, Kim and Van clear the air together.
Best rumor ever. That was so awesome.
That was funny.
Yeah.
That was funny. Yeah. I didn't really expect that. Yeah, so many people asked me also, and I was like, you guys, I need a minute before I'm out there, you know?
The romance rumors came just months after Kim filed for divorce from Kanye West in February 2021. She is currently dating Saturday Night Live star Pete Davidson. As for Van, who split from his wife in 2018, he also received plenty of questions from his friends, many who expressed doubt that the rumors were true.
But I tell you, being a big nerd, having all my guys from college calling, thinking I was like the hero, I was like, no, we're just working on trying to get people out of prison. But it was a cool rumor.
Today, the pair remain close friends, as Kim continues to work on legal reform and studies to become a lawyer of her own. Van has his law degree from Yale University.
The two work closely on social justice projects, and while their partnership was real, any claims of romance was just fantasy. So sadly for the rumor mill, there's no political love story here. Next up, we have the reality star's fake relationship for ratings. So, all right now, this next one really had fans of The Bachelorette talking. According to a blind, Taisha Adams and Zach Clark's relationship was totally fake and only existed to boost the show's ratings. Yep, the blind suggested that this fan favorite couple was basically performing a romance for cameras. Now, for those that followed them and saw the ups and downs of their relationships, what we saw, that connection seemed raw and real. And since opened up about the ups and downs of their relationship, including their eventual split. But at no point was there any real evidence that their relationship was faked for ratings. So why The Bachelorette might be all about the drama, The Blind is just another case of over-the-top speculation. Next up is the reality star's secret substance abuse. So let's finally get into one of the more serious blinds. This one claimed that Khloe Kardashian was hiding a severe substance abuse problem from the public eye. The blind suggested that Khloe was struggling behind the scenes while maintaining her glamorous, workout-focused image. But here's where the blind falls apart. Khloe has never shown any signs of this kind of issue, and there is no credible source that even hints at it. In fact, she has talked openly about her commitment to fitness and wellness, especially her highly publicized body transformation journey. I'm sure she's probably lying, honestly, about plastic surgery that may or may have not been done or how she is getting there, but I do not think it has to do with any substance abuse issues. So she has been very open and public about her personal struggles, very transparent about that, and also from her relationship to family challenge. So the idea of her hiding a substance abuse problem really just doesn't add up. So there you have it all. 4 blinds that just kept us hooked, but ultimately fall flat when you take a look at the actual facts. Whether it is a secret child or hidden romances, sometimes the truth behind these blinds isn't as wild as the rumor itself. But hey, that's a part of the fun, right?
Celeb delight, get your fix of pop culture every night. Ooh, what's happening in Beverly Hills?
Welcome back to Pop Culture Expose. I am thrilled to introduce today our guest, Krista Marie, the brilliant host of Reality with Krista Marie. Krista dives deep into the wild world of reality TV and pop culture, serving up the juiciest takes with a down-to-earth charm. Today, she's here to help us explore the world of pop culture from the 2010s to now, an era full of unforgettable celebrity moments, reality TV gold, and of course, plenty of blinds and rumors. Krista, welcome to the show.
Hi, everyone. I'm so honored. Thank you so much for asking me. I'm Reality with Krista Marie. It's the Reality with Krista Marie YouTube channel, but it's the Who Started You On podcast. Don't ask why it's 2 different things, but it is. But I talk about Bravo, Housewives, feuds, and if pop culture comes up, I talk about that, but mostly the feuds. I try to give both sides with my Jersey attitude and my take to it. I try to be fair, but I do. The feuds that we talk about all week long, that's what I like to do. It ends up turning into a recap too, but you can find me 3 days a week live because I'm an asshole. Do live, and if you watch the Crazy Live at 12:15, and I'm sure all my stuff will be linked. But yeah, and this pop culture thing, I kept thinking like Kardashians is what I keep coming up with. I don't know why, but you said 2010s pop culture, I'm like Kardashians. But anyway,
yeah, well, that will definitely be a part of it. It has been a part of my last 2 episodes because they are just so ingrained to it. I wish they weren't, but unfortunately, they are. So have to give flowers where flowers are due, unfortunately. But really happy to have you on here. Been a fan of yours, early on. We were in another content creator, podcasters, live chat. So known you since then, and then saw you start your own podcast. So it has been really awesome watching your growth, Krista, and your personal growth too. So you should be really, really proud of yourself.
You're gonna make me cry. How dare you?
No crying. We're talking about pop culture, but brush your shoulder off a little bit.
I know, because I'm like, I have imposter syndrome. I'm like, that's not me. I'm not bad. Like, I'm not rating. I'm not doing it. Like, I'm like, that's not me. Like, little old me here in South Jersey. I don't think so. But I've been watching this.
Keep on doing you.
Like, I've been screaming at Jax Taylor since 2008. You know what I mean? I'm still blocked by Jax. I'm the original blocked by Jax. I'm still blocked by Jax.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised I haven't been blocked by him yet. I do know he's seen one of my posts and he complained to another content creator because I had something wrong grammatically. That's not always my strongest
probably
suit.
pretty much
I
wrong.
will admit that, but I just thought it was funny. Like, you don't have anything better to do? Like, whatever. But congrats on being the OG blocked
I
one.
know, right? And thanks for I'm like literally like I'm very proud of it. I'm really proud of it.
Yeah.
Because he won't unblock me. I'm like, as long as he doesn't unblock me, I'm good.
Oh lordy, that will be a day.
That was my evil twin, the harsh reality. She does no longer exist. I'm reality of Krista Marie. The harsh reality was my evil twin, the Wicked Witch of the West. She no longer exists. The algorithm does not know who she is.
2.0. Now, getting into some of the pop culture, and from the 2010s to present day, the 2010s, Krista, gave us some major pop culture moments from reality TV to the rise of social media influencers like the Kardashians. What do you think was the most defining moment of this era for you and why?
I really honestly believe that it was when the Kardashians like took their brand and turned it into a business. Like they took their so they're on TV because of what Kim did. But I mean, I'm not mad at it. But I think the most defining moment was her sex tape and on reality TV and just the influence that they have on pop culture. And I mean, they're still going strong. I mean, I don't know, how much longer they're going to last, but like just their fashion, their business sense, social media. Now, I mean, I do think there's a little bit of like untruth to like their social media stuff, but like I'm not mad at how they got there. Well, you know what I mean? Like, but like their influence is just it's everything, and then think that Kim was Paris Hilton's friend. Like just she was the girl that nobody would like. She was behind Paris while Paris was getting, paparazzi and taking her pictures. And then we're like, this is a hot girl, and here we are.
Yeah, didn't she help Paris's closet or something?
She was like a closet organizer, yeah.
Yeah.
Which that is my dream job too. Like,
Me
I don't
too, stop it.
It's literally my therapy. Like I rearrange things all the time, all day long.
Yeah, I love organizing. Do not bring me into a container store.
Oh my God, no.
Do not put on one of those organizing reality shows as well. I will get sucked into it, and then I'll spend the whole weekend reorganizing my house.
I find like I put like containers inside of containers, like this. I organize containers. I'm like
Marie Kondo it.
Yes, I'm like literally organizing inside of my container.
But I mean, it is really wild to see how far that they have come, as you said, business, social media wise. Also, that impact that has on people too. But
and also
totally
Kim's actually, people would always make fun of Kim, right? But she is actually really smart. And even though like she's like she's at the baby bar, but the fact that she's going and following her father's footsteps, no matter what, after reality TV, I think that is a huge influence too. Like her going into the law field and becoming some type of like on the legal field. I don't want to say she can be a lawyer. I guess she is a lawyer, right?
No, she's not a lawyer. She hasn't passed the bar at all. I don't know if she's gonna go take that route.
No,
I don't know. I do think she's trying to make some good change. I just don't think she is gonna fully take it to how she first put it out there to be, though.
That's awful.
But we'll see.
I don't know how I feel about Chris though. I feel like Chris would like for me, my manager and my mom as well. Like I feel like that's a hard thing. Like I don't know if all their relationships with like they stayed intact. They seem like they stayed intact, but I'd like to know really like if that was really an issue. Because remember they used to fight about Kim. Like they used to fight about Kim was the one who's brought everybody into this, and they used to make fun of her, and they would say like, or Courtney would say like, they're swiping credit cards down her butt crack. You know what I mean? Like they're just like swiping. And I'm like, because she's the one who brought everybody to the scene, the whole family. But I feel like with Chris being their mom and manager, like I wonder if all their relationships completely stayed intact. Like, could they really? Like, is that possible? There's how many? 8 kids? 6 kids? 6 girls? I think.
Yeah. I do think that is a good glue that can keep them together as a family. How functional the family is, though, that's a whole other story. And I actually had to stop watching it. I think when Chloe got married.
Oh, really?
to Lamar, just because I remember I think they were feeding the lines of what Bruce at the time was
Oh, yeah.
going to say during the wedding, and that just
Was so
it
dumb.
totally turns me off. When a reality show, obviously, you have to arrive at a certain point. There is, kind of a certain plot, but when lines are being fed to you and you're trying to make it into something that it's not, that's when it just gives me the ick. And that happened this year to me with Big Brother. It's happening now with the Real Housewives of New York too.
Really?
It needs to be a little bit more authentic. Why are you having someone feed you lines on the most important day, your wedding day? I
Yeah.
think Bruce could speak from his heart. Now,
Right.
Caitlyn.
I know, and I feel like too, like you're absolutely right. Because I remember before they went into Hulu, I watched the finale of them on 8, and I was like, it was so produced. They were at some house. They're at their house, their beach house, or their a house where they have like a vacation house. They were all there, and they were filming there. They were forced to hang out. That's what they were doing, and it was. I'm like, this is what you gave us. I remember going online and like not blogging, but whatever we do on social media, and I was like, this is what you gave us. This is your finale after all these years. This is what you gave us, and it was like. But then they went to Hulu. But still, like I didn't watch the Hulu version at all. Still haven't watched it. I haven't watched the Hulu one, but only because I felt like, why are you at this point? What are you guys doing? Like,
Right.
And Chris is literally kissing Tristan's. He's like vouching for Tristan, romanticizing Tristan, and I'm like, I gotta stop. Like I couldn't. And then I'm like, if Chloe's got some kind of, that's another defining moment, her situation with Tristan. Because that was a huge deal when she had the baby the first time he cheated, and we thought they were. Oh
I
my
totally
God.
forgot about that.
That was a huge thing too, because I remember nobody will ever forget what he's done. We'll always see him as that person. I will, anyways, is the biggest cheater in the world. And
yeah, for sure. I mean, it wasn't one time; it was continuous and continuous. I think people could forgive back in the day Lamar for certain things, but then that got just excessive because of the demons he was battling. But
the
they
Kardashians.
don't have a good picker. They don't have a good picker, and maybe that is karma for other stuff, and maybe it is their mom guiding them in the wrong direction. Somebody in that family, please pick someone like good and genuine.
But I feel like they are fine until they meet the Kardashians. I swear it is the Kardashian curse. I got shadow banned for like adding on to the Kardashian curse in like a very long post. But like I was going down, I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Because Rob, I mean, Scott looks like the life force is being drained from him.
Oh yeah.
He looks, I'm like really adrenochrome or whatever that thing. It's going it's like draining. And I'm like, oh my God, what's happening? They're actually.
Well, he was on Ozempic though.
He was on Ozempic too?
Yeah.
That's another defining moment in our
Yeah,
culture.
no, he like as of late of this year, he's on Ozempic. I think he appeared on one of the shows. I saw it on TikTok, and you could see when he opened up his fridge, like the Ozempic medicine was in there. And he also spoke about it as too. He didn't realize like the physical effect, the extent it would have to it. Yeah, with that sunken in face. So I think he was trying to get control of it.
So is Sharon Osbourne. She's struggling bad with it. She was like, she said, she's still on, or no, she's off it now. She cannot gain any weight back. And it looks really bad. Yeah, she looks very, very skinny. But they were the first. They're the original pop culture reality show. The Osbournes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was good. But speaking of which, we saw so many celebrities transition from traditional fame to building their own brands on social media, which could be the Kardashians, could be the Osbournes too, because they built their own brand too because of that show, or even, Jessica Simpson, thinking back to the day. But Krista, how do you think that shift has changed the way we interact with and view celebrities?
So now if we're breaking the fourth wall, I feel like,
Break it.
okay. So I feel like if we're breaking the fourth wall, that is like what the part that social media has a huge, huge part of reality TV and keeping them relevant. Now, when they switched over, okay, so we have all these celebrities that are like, I don't know, scripted TV, reality TV, and then you have the social media side of it, right? And the social media side, we are what keep them relevant. Like us, the podcasters, the influence, that everybody that's watching social media, all the people, the viewers, are what keep all these shows relevant in between filming. And I don't know about you, but like with Housewives and all that, with all these shows, they reach out to us to put their stuff out there. I mean, the decent cotton candy drama that they want to make them keep relevant. They fight. I do believe that like social media and influence, that is everything. I think right now we are transitioning from celebrity being the thing everybody, how everybody's like, Oprah's a celebrity. Everybody's like freaking out over like whoever, A-list celebrities. You know what I'm saying? I like podcasters. I like literally fangirl over other podcasters. But I feel like social media, we are the new, I guess, A-listers or people that they look up to, or, I mean, because we can make a lot of money on social and doing what we do, like podcasting and all that. But I feel like just the fans and having more, like them having connection to the stars, more of a connection. Like I like having connection to the reality stars. Like we talk about them and then eventually we reach out to them. And I also feel like our audience likes having a closer connection to them. You're not just watching a TV show anymore where it's like you're flipping the channel and they're all the way out in California and they're like, it takes them weeks to like film this one thing. You know what I mean? Like we are so like, is that what you asked me with social media and influence?
Yeah, just how do you think the shift has changed the way we interact with and view celebrities? So no, definitely everything you answered was along those lines.
Yeah.
It is wild thinking people you viewed on TV however long ago, you can easily slide into their DMs and in a PG way, unless you want to go that route. And that they can respond back and you can have a cordial conversation and, talk some shit, maybe possibly. It's interesting. Or you can be on TikTok and join a live and talk to them live. I mean,
Like
it's
Kelly
crazy.
Dodd,
I think there's a lot of pros and cons.
Yeah, that's true, because I think going live on TikTok, like TikTok is an easy live to do, but like if we're live on Instagram or they're live on Instagram, I mean, sometimes it's like they're always drinking when they get on Instagram, but that's also the fun part, like just the connection that social media brings us to them. And I do feel like reality stars are the new celebrity, and then it it kind of moves over to us a little bit. I keep saying us like we're cool or something, but like no, like podcasting and like the content people, content creators, let's say content creators. But I mean, like the relationships too, like, like my sister, sometimes I'll say like, who are you talking to? I'm like, oh, it's Ryan and Jen, Ryan Bully Hands, whatever. Like I'm getting ready to like have them on the show. She's like, who are they? I'm like, from OC. She's like, you're talking to the castmates? I'm like, yes. But you don't think of it anymore like that. Like when they reach out, we don't really think of it like that. My sister's like, man, you're cool. I was like, I know. I know.
Yeah, just think of them as people who you happen to see on TV, but they're just like us. They're people. And I think that is part of the reason why they are becoming, I don't want to say a higher form of celebrity, but a more focused form of celebrity, because I think we all find them, while they're not 100% authentic, we find them more authentic, which so many of the celebrities, where do you find any authenticity, especially with all of these that have come out of the woodwork over the last couple of years, so it's easier to relate to them and to have more trust in them.
Definitely. And I do feel like we weren't, I don't think podcasts on route with scripted TV was the biggest thing. I don't know. There wasn't really podcasting or social media talking about it. It really didn't start till reality TV became, a real big thing, 2008 with OC.
Yeah.
But I just remember thinking, oh my God, I can talk to other people about this shit. Like I would scream at my TV, and then all of a sudden, it was like blogging. And then, blogging, you're writing your own email to yourself, but like people had to find you. But like that transitioned over, like, I think in 2020, like podcasting, like literally COVID brought us from like blogging, and we still call blogs, but the podcasting, but YouTubing, but that reminded me about the blinds question, but I can't wait to get to that question.
But no, I mean, grateful for podcasts and the world that it has created. I feel like I have finally found my people, because the only people I get to talk to about reality TV is my mom and then my sister who lives in Florida. I don't have anyone to like speak to on the daily because reality TV is just infused in me. So I finally found my people and I don't feel afraid to be myself anymore. Obsessed with pop culture, an encyclopedia. You know, people get annoyed with me in my regular life because I know so much, can share so much, and it's not of interest to them. So
Yeah,
it's
right.
nice now to be able to share it with others or in various chat rooms. It's a way to release it without annoying others in my life.
Seriously, if you ever can't find me online, just text me because I will talk about. I found myself like me and Aaron would do the show. Like Aaron was hosting with me for a while, right? We would talk. We would do it for 2 hours, and then be on the phone for like another 5 hours, still talking about it. Like I could talk Bravo with you for 8 hours straight. We should probably do an episode where we just talk about Housewives and we like go back up, because I like talking about what do you think about this one? What do you think about that one? What do you think about that one?
And it's kind of nice to revisit some of those with a different perspective now, because we've grown and life has changed as well. But we have been following reality TV for so long now. Out of all of the shows you have watched, which ones from the 2010s do you think had the biggest impact on pop culture as a whole? Anything beyond the Kardashians?
I think Bachelor Nation. If that's like, I think Bachelor, I say Bachelor Nation, but The Bachelor. I think it was one of the very early ones, and just literally with The Bachelor and Love Island, or like, and like those dating shows. Like I do feel like they definitely impacted our everything. Like I do feel like that is one of the shows that it's like one of those transcending ones too, where it transcends every year. Like we're still watching it, right? Just like Housewives. Housewives is getting a little bit older. But like Bachelor Nation never gets old. And then they also have when they do like Paradise, Love Island, or Paradise, what is it?
Bachelor in Paradise.
Yeah. So then like second chances, you know what I mean? And I feel like that definitely made that, and Survivor. Definitely too. Survivor was a huge one too. Because they were like the first shows, and Dancing with the Stars. Sorry. You said to pick one, but those main ones are like every genre that you could think of, really. Like, you know, like being outside and all that stuff, like Survivor. And you have the dancing show. Like my mom loved that. My dad loved Survivor. I'm watching the Kardashians. You know what I mean? So
all long lasting too.
Yes, all trends. Yep, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Love those shows. Can't believe how far Love Island has come. I look forward to covering that in season 2. Season 2, I will be deep diving TV and reality TV. So maybe I'll have you on, Krista, for Love Island.
You can be mad at me. I never saw Love. I've never seen Love Island. I've only seen it one time with Ariana.
Oh,
but
you haven't seen it?
No, I only started watching it because of her. But I didn't see I want to really go back and watch all the older ones, because I just want to get into, like, I'm so obsessed. I just want to get into like the rest of it. Like,
then there's the British the UK version, which is really good too. Yeah.
Adam's like, I'm so jealous. I was like, I'm gonna watch the whole thing. He's like, I'm so mad. He's like, I wish I literally had a show like that. He's like, I feel like so many people were like, tell me to watch Love Island. I'm like, the one I wouldn't do. And then I'm so like excited to watch the rest of it. But like,
enjoy. Keep me posted on how you like it. If you
it.
have any questions at all,
definitely will ask you.
Now, with all the shows we've talked about, whether or not it's reality shows like The Bachelor, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, which, as we know, all of those completely dominated the 2010s and then some, what do you think makes these shows so addictive and important?
Okay. So with reality TV, I feel like with reality TV, watching other families. Now I don't want to start with all Aspen, but I want to just really talk about like Real Housewives of OC. because when 2010, I don't know how you were, but like I was newly into like, you know, my adult life, and we're watching all these shows, and I just feel like they definitely, the Housewives have always impacted us. Like we started out watching them and for their wealth, I think for their wealth and all that stuff, but like they're so relatable. They became so relatable after I think like a couple years with like Teresa and like, you know, when Tamara threw wine in Gina's face, that was the hugest thing on like Real Housewives of OC. We're like, oh my God, she threw wine in Gina's face, you know. And then we watched Housewives with Teresa when she goes to jail. That was huge. Like that made us really like, I think that kind of like back to like watching it, addicted to watching Jersey and watching their lives. And they are way more relatable than watching scripted TV or actors that you never in a million years would ever be able to have any connection, never talk, never see, never, you know, interview them, whatever, you know what I mean? We wouldn't be able to interview those celebrities. And then when you have reality TV, you have everybody like, they're us basically. You know, like Jersey Shore, when Jersey Shore started, I was like, oh my God, you're doing what I do. Like, that's crazy. Jersey Shore is a huge one. But
yeah, I'm obsessed.
Being
and
able
it's still
to,
so good.
I know, and they still make the same amount. They still make millions and millions of dollars. It's
Yeah.
like magic. I tell people that show is magic. You could never find a group like that and have such an awesome connection like they do. And how they rally around each other. You know what? Let's talk about that, because they rally around each other more than these freaking housewives do. And the Housewives is something we should be able to watch and be like, oh, like, look how great they are. Like, when we watched Miami, when they rallied around Lisa, we're like,
top plastic surgeon in this town, and I'm his best creation. I love you.
Love you too.
Everyone loves to underestimate me, and I love to prove everyone wrong.
My husband built the perfect wife, and I built the perfect life. In the blink of an eye, my life changed. I'm losing my best friend, losing my husband to another woman.
Here's a recap of their breakup on The Real Housewives of Miami.
Lenny and I have been through downs, clearly, and no, just like a roller coaster. Yeah, for 15
That's part of
years.
relationships.
Part of life. And you know why we stuck through it together? Is because, you know what? We know that the grass is not greener.
Exactly.
On the other
That's
side.
the thing, yeah.
And Lenny's mom said something very important at our wedding. She said, the Hochsteins, we never divorce.
Yeah, put it down. After the past few weeks, I officially said,
And I believe 1 month, so I might be single, so.
I heard there was like issues, but I thought she was a little specific.
Yeah. Same stuff it's always been, you know. I do anything I want, whenever I want, and you stay home and go to work and come back.
Maybe you discussed it a lot.
All the time.
I don't want to see that happen.
I do.
Hey? I feel like he's missing.
No, he's too busy. So, Logan, aren't you going to play a game?
Where's the third mission?
I don't know.
Tell me when it's doing loading.
Okay. Why?
Because then I would be cheating on all I really care about.
There it is. Boom.
No. Nobody knows. Nobody.
I'm mic'd up, are you?
Yeah. Why do you think I'm whispering?
I just don't know if my marriage is going to survive. I think it's over.
Like, is there anybody else involved? Because, like,
Yes, there is somebody involved.
There's somebody else involved. I always knew.
Lenny's dating her now. He's dating her. In 1 week, Womanizer told me this on Sunday. He started dating on Wednesday, and now he has a full-on girlfriend. And I'll go like this. Is that good? Beautiful. Hand around me like you love me. Because you do. That was on a Saturday. And then Monday came around, and I noticed he was acting very strange. So I asked him, is everything okay? And he looked at me dead in my face and said, I want a divorce. I feel blindsided. I feel hurt. I feel that the person I've been with for 15 years doesn't care about me at all. I really didn't ever think that someone I considered my family and the father of my children would just turn around and throw me away in the blink of an eye, all while telling me he's going to start dating and you should look into finding a home so you and the kids could go. And if you don't, you're gonna get a first front row seat to me dating. And that's what he said to me.
So we're like, oh, like hearts are smiling. We're like, oh, thank God. Like finally we have a show where they're not reveling in somebody else's downfall. You know?
Right. And I think that's the reason why they are long lasting. And I don't see them stopping anytime soon unless Bravo goes under or the cast doesn't want to do it anymore. I don't see them ending it because they have each other's back so much, kind of like the Friends cast, but they can create drama without totally backstabbing and crossing a line that you can't come back from. Like there's certain lines you don't cross with kids, with trying to ruin someone's business. I just think some of the housewives have just gone way too far. And then that's good learning moment for us as viewers to not go that route that they
and
go.
it should actually be learning lessons for the other casts, like the other cast of franchises, because we don't want. All right, so back when Teresa flipped the table, we thought it was cool. You know what I mean? Oh, she's cool, she's cool. But as time goes on, it got all of those franchises that started then. The casts have gotten so toxic with each other because they've been around each other for so long. They were forced to fight, and now they have to force each other to hang out on like, you know, OC, or they create things for them to do, so they have to hang out because they're not doing it in real life. They hate each other in real life. I mean, come on. So then they get them drunk, or they make them drink. I'm not saying make them drink. They have a drinking game and they're around dinner, and then they get their content, and the producers get to go home for the night, and then you have a bunch of ruined friendships. But on the other side, it's the producer's dream. But it also, if you're going to go on these shows, you have to know that you're not going to have your friendships are not going to be intact when you get off, or you just make a pact at the very beginning and you all say to each other, look, I'm going to fuck you over. You're going to fuck me over. I'm going to fuck you over this. That, you know what I mean? We're going to do it this way all season. I feel like that is the way to keep their friendships together, is to just agree that you're going to go after me for this. And then Lisa, you go after Whitney for that. Like, I mean, Heather kind of contrived that all of Salt Lake last season. She kind of contrived the whole entire thing. So
She tries a lot of stuff and pretends like she doesn't. I wish she would just freaking own it.
I didn't sleep for 2 nights after they fired Mon. I'm telling you that I was so affected with I'm screaming cease and desist for like a week straight because
I wasn't happy about that decision. So we are aligned. I thought she was gold. I don't agree with how she handles herself in every situation at all, you know, but
she should have
compared to what Jen Shaw did, compared to what others have done. Come on now. Come on now.
Criminal. Heather, you protected a violent criminal.
Yeah.
And then you lied and tried to. Oh my God, I was so afraid of her. Oh, Jen Shaw. I was protecting her for 2 years. Monica can't we have to get rid of the fraud. And it's like, okay, Heather, don't worry. She can't hurt you anymore. We love you, Heather. And fuck you, Monica. And it's like, Monica came with her own bag of shit. She didn't have to create storylines or fights with other people. She enjoyed being friends with the other cast members, even though it was fake. She thought they were really her friend. When they went to the Bahamas and they did that stuff, I was like, okay, I like this. I can watch this again. I'm so happy that they're being kind to each other and just having a good time, because we can have drama all by themselves. But we'll never get into that because they'll get rid of somebody like Monica for some reason. And they're still dead set against her. I do believe that Bravo is going to get rid of Heather. I think Heather's going to be done, and I think Monica's going to come back.
I hope so.
Well, she's done too many things wrong, so.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. Like, she's just like, she's TV gold. And I wish Heather was one of my favorites. So I'm not happy, like, talking non-positive about her, because she was one of my favorites. But I feel like her and so many other housewives, they go to BravoCon, they get all of this hype, they fluff their feathers up,
Heather's got
their
her
egos get huge, and it's gone to her head. And that authenticity that we liked about her is gone. I don't trust her.
I don't either. She does not, and that is not a black eye. Her face got swollen up from like she had procedure done or whatever. But then she had a sty in her eye, and I'm telling you, it happened to me too. But I'm telling you, I compared her black eye to her alleged black eye to my side of my face. My eye blew up. It looked just like that.
Oh,
So
really?
nobody even gave her a black eye. The producers told her to create that storyline. That's what I don't like anymore. Is now we know that there is showrunners, and they're creating extra shit that doesn't need to be there. And
Yeah, I get that.
I don't know who's lying to them, because we don't want half the things they're doing. We didn't want Tom to have a redemption arc. We didn't want Ariana to get screamed at the end. We didn't want, nobody wanted that. Nobody wanted Teresa to do what she did. They created the Evan rumor. That's what I mean. Like, there's the one thing that right now that if they don't get a hold of what the showrunners are doing or fix that thing, everybody's getting mad about it. I mean, in my perception, because they're doing things that were like, we knew about this cease and desist. Heather did know about Von Teese. They all knew that she was Von Teese. Why lie about that and create that for an entire season? We could have fun stuff. We could have them being real friends. Every time that Monica wanted to forgive one of the girls, she's like, okay, she was fine. Like, she, talk about it, forgive it. And that was like so fake. But I just don't want to watch Bravo kind of destroy their OG characters, like what they did to Shannon, tried to do to Shannon.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that was just dirty and grimy. She's been there so long. She's never left you guys. She's already been sued once. Why would you bring on somebody that was like dating job? Why? When she's trying to be sober, So there's like a huge thing with that right now that I don't know how to.
Yeah, it's sad.
View Bravo.
It's sad how so many of our favorite housewives have kind of fallen at part in the hands of Bravo, at part to the hands of themselves, because you can't depend on this forever. You need to have a smarter game plan in case things go awry. But definitely production has their hand in the pot and stirring things up. I mean, I definitely learned a lot 2 summers ago when I went and visited Benton, Illinois, where Crappy Lake was filmed.
You did?
I did. So I learned a lot hanging out with the locals, and the firehouse, and
how contrived the storylines can be, and how the edit is so screwed sometimes.
Not the whole thing. Certain parts, though. Certain parts. Not the whole entire. Not the whole entire thing. There was so much authenticity to it and so much more I wish they would have shown. I learned so much about Luann that now she will be in my Mount Rushmore of housewives because of what I learned about her. Yeah, like one of the stories, and I became friends with the motel owners there, Akash and Haral.
Look at us. Look at you. All hanging out with everyone.
They're so nice. They know how to party. That whole town knows how to party. But there was this senior citizen lady that was living at the motel for a very long time, had no family out here. I think her family was maybe in California. Lou flew out her whole family to surprise her. None of that was shown. And even before that, Lou was taking her out to breakfast, like almost every day, taking her out to breakfast or lunch.
Sonia was with her. Who was with her? With Luann? Sonia?
Yeah, it was Sonia.
Okay. Now you hung out with them, right?
Yeah.
Sonia is the one I'm worried about the most in the entire franchises, because I think her rejection that she gets is her depression, and her getting naked so many times on Ultimate Girls Trip and Bravo, watching it and showing us, bothered me. Now, what did you experience with her when you were like, was she getting naked? I feel very upset.
I would say that definitely those that were on the premise saw her naked a lot.
That's embarrassing. And Bravo shouldn't be filming it. And on it.
Her last night, when I will just say rap parties get crazy, and she had a lot of fun that night. There's just certain stories that are like, it's really bad. I can't even share. It's that bad, and the visuals I saw of that night and stuff too. So I get why it didn't come back, even though it was a success. And I think they wanted it to come back, but I think Sonia is unfortunately too much of
A problem.
a liability. From my
very-
experience at Crappy Lake, as I said, Lou is in my Mount Rushmore. I love her way more than I ever could have thought. And
Yep.
Sonia, who I thought was in my Mount Rushmore, I will never look at her
Oh, really?
the same. And I do feel really concerned for her and what will happen for her
Like her mental health.
long term.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Going back when they were filming the show, when they just were trying to bring it back again before they rebooted it, I noticed like she was married to, JP Morgan, right? So she was so up in status. Then she loses him, and then her life was destroyed. Like she felt like she lost her social status. Then you get it back on Housewives, and you're there for 10 years. But then of course it starts to go down again. And that's where I think the last 5 or 6 years has been so concerning, because her alcohol, it's not just that, it's just her entire, it changes her. And I know she tries to detox in between, but when you can't even bring your show back and your best friend can't help, I'm really concerned. I feel like this show, I'm not blaming Bravo for addiction and all that stuff, where people are starting to drink again. I do know that they have to sign contracts on the contract that says if you have issues with alcohol or mental illness, it's not the job for you. Please sign this here. Don't sue us, because we might have to manipulate storylines. We might have to do that. So they do sign it. And I know going into it very well that I would be a victim of all that, because it would be on me though for my mental health. Like with Lady, I'm bipolar. When she came on, she's like, I'm bipolar. I stopped taking my meds 3 months ago. This is Leah, season 1. Now look what we're at now. Now she's how many years later, disgruntled employee, and she's blaming Bravo for her and her mental illness. When you said on camera, you stop taking your meds. And so I'm saying, you have to know that these shows are going to screw with you. And I would not, it would destroy me. I would be destroyed in these shows. I already have to deal with a lot of the Jersey stuff. Like I deal with it my whole life. So it's like I've been fucked over by the best of them over here. But I get it. But like being on the show, I feel like you have to either agree to like fuck each other over and just don't get mad about it. Like I don't know how they even go on sometimes. Like some of the stuff that we see them do to each other and they are forced to be friends again it's actually kind of like growth, I guess you call it growth, because in real life you wouldn't be with these people again.
No dysfunctional growth.
Tamara would be. Yeah.
And getting back to the Sonia aspect,
yes,
why I think we always thought she had certain struggles. I'm not going to put a label on her.
Yeah.
I think her being on Crappy Lake just put more visibility on it. There was no way of getting around it. So I'm sure production and the crew had a much more larger eye on like what was really happening. How late she was staying up and how much she was drinking every single day, as compared to Lou, who absolutely did not drink anything at all. She only drank her frosé. She would wake up every morning, work out,
I thought
and go to bed early.
Now, do you think Luann also said, like Sonia, does Sonia know that the reason it's not coming back is because of what her
I have no idea. And I can't even say for sure if that is the reason why. I think that is the consistent speculation, even beyond what I think.
Really like destroy even more, but that this has to wake her up. I hope this wakes her up and she realizes that this is not good for her and she's destroying herself.
I don't think so, because maybe it was like 4 months ago she was on Watch What Happens Live and went off on Jeff Lewis.
What happened? I remember, we're good now. Okay. But she had announced, I think she was pregnant. Yes. And I said, oh, good, another baby out of wedlock. Oh, yes. So it took me a minute to get her. Wow. Yeah. Wow, Jeff.
I don't do Jeff's show because I don't want to be canceled. What was her response?
What was her response?
Yeah, what was her response?
She was fine. She's got a great sense of humor. We actually are friends, and she's actually a really cool person. I like her a lot.
She really
is.
Wow.
She's a nurse. She was a nurse.
She's a nurse.
Right. And so are you, Lou.
is a nurse.
Yes.
We always
kind of bonded over that.
Yes.
Wow.
I actually don't do podcasts because I don't want to be canceled.
Right. Yeah, me too.
You can go to Sonia City, no cameras allowed, and I'll
Oh, that's perfect. Oh, smart that you have no cameras allowed at Sonia in the City. That is very smart. Yes.
Yeah.
Mom and Dad.
I actually have a video my assistant took
I
of
cancel
you on
it.
stage.
You're out.
Oh, yeah.
I will not do, but I always smell it before I.
All right. Jeff, how is Zoila doing these days?
Great.
How's Zoila?
She's still working for me.
Oh, good.
Every
That
weekend.
is great.
Really?
Phaedra, what do you?
What? I am going to allow Sonia to answer for me.
I know that Jerry, every time I say, Jerry, how's your marriage? Because obviously I would like to have sex with Jerry. Also, I feel our brands are in line and we could go with, but Rebecca is so amazing. And they're such an amazing couple. I never break up a marriage.
Good.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you. Hello, Rebecca. Thank you for that. We love that.
All right. We're going to leave it there.
I was very annoyed by Sonia, and I believe, I have not seen the episode, but Shane did, that they did a lot of work to edit her obnoxious drunk behavior. But what you see was 20 times worse. She never stopped talking. She was belligerent. She was rude and disrespectful. She was confrontational. She came for me at the break. I was completely turned off by her behavior.
How was she at the after party?
I don't think she could even make it to the after party.
Well, what they left in was that when that Teresa thing happened, Sonia was like monologuing, and she said, "You need to bow down to her. You need to bow down to her." But then if you listen closely, even when they're going to break, you can hear Sonia, you can hear her mic, and they're trying to muffle it.
Yeah.
But you can hear her shout out things the entire rest of the episode.
She was talking the entire time.
The entire
You can hear her
time.
underneath everyone.
Does
You know, she looked like a drunk hot mess then, so I don't think, I just imagine it's probably only getting worse. And where's her stable home too? She doesn't have a stable home. Like,
this is horrible. Where's her
it's
daughter?
not good for your psyche, but
Not at all.
But speaking of psyches, we can talk about Real Housewives for ages.
Yeah.
You're really familiar with Celebrity Blinds,
Mm.
Krista,
Yeah.
and the infamous EntyLawyer, aka John Nelson. Do you think these blinds that you're familiar with of his, do they reflect the true behind the scenes of Hollywood, or are they more entertainment than fact? Or it could be in the middle. What are your thoughts? Because I go back and forth, but you know.
I now for blinds, I know we can, they're fun to talk about, but I don't think that there's 10 secrets a day that you actually know. I know for a fact that these blind item people include, can I say his other name? I don't want to call him his real name. I don't call him EntyLawyer. I call him Cunty Liar. I just like, even though like Paige says, this is all fantasy, you have to look at the fine print. I know, I don't know how or who he has to do it for him, but going through Reddit and stuff, like, he's just finding things and coming up with some conclusions. And most of the time he's right. But if you read them, the conclusion that you will come to the same conclusion of speculation or whatever. I definitely don't use them as like, because I'm not going to be able to cite it. You know what I mean? I can't say this and this. I'll say, oh, this is fun gossip. This is a blind item. I'll never talk about his blind items. But I just feel like blind items they're good, but you can't, I don't know, they're just good. They're entertainment. And I don't think they're not lies. People aren't out there making up lies about them. They're speculation. But like, I don't use them as fact, but like, they are fun because I think about with Jersey, like, there's all these things that like I know, or like Kim D knows, but we can't really say it because we can't prove it happened. We just know it happened. You know what I mean? Or things that happened, but like with blind items, I don't know how that you can make that much money off of 10 made up things a day. Cause I don't believe that they don't have an inner circle. Like, I mean, I think we could do just as good as that person. He does, but I'm not going to sit there I can't think that hard 10 times a day. I didn't realize he does that 10 times a day. Now, how much gossip, like I said, how many lies or secrets could you know? How many could you really know? 10 a day, like.
No. I mean, as you said, I think it's a combination of pulling from here and there, making general statements where eventually could fit to anyone. And sometimes making up straight up lies as
Oh,
well. There
yeah.
have definitely been blinds that have been straight up lies. I don't think every blind writer up there intentionally tries to put out lies. And I'm not saying he
Mhm.
always tries to purposely put out lies, but he has definitely put out straight up lies that
I think it's
he made up.
and I think for him, it's not malicious. I think it's more attentioning. Like he wants,
Mhm.
oh, you know what I mean? I think he just does it because he just feels like he does have a huge following, and he's gonna have to put some stuff out there. Sometimes I'm sure isn't sure. Not he has to, but I don't feel like you should take actual scripted celebrities, like like some stories that he's done. I don't think that's fun. I don't think that's good. I don't think you should do like Amanda Bynes and stuff like that, because those people are struggling and they're not on our shows and they're not in front of us anymore. His Real Housewives ones, they're the fun ones, because put it this way, our housewives tell us more about each other than the blind items do. They sit there and
Right.
but I'm not mad about it. I just don't think that it's like me going around and saying this happened, Rachel and John, this happened. But it's like I can't. It's my blind item because how am I going to prove it happened unless I have video or And I
Right.
would never in a million years. I've never once talked to them about like the show, being on the show. Every time I'm with them, like around that whole group of people, I never once have brought the show because if I think about it, if I start talking about that and I ask them questions and I'm here talking about it, who's going to fucking be my friend after that? Who's going to
Oh,
be
yeah,
my
for sure.
hanging out like my group of friends that I'm talking about shit? You know what I mean? I'm
Right.
not going to go and talk about anything I know. I mean, of course, you see how heated I get, and I'm just like, that didn't happen. But it's like I could use them as blind items, but I don't. It's just, yeah. There's
Yeah.
been some things that, yeah. I'm surprised he has a website. I'm surprised he still has blind items. I'm surprised he's still up there.
Yeah, I'm surprised
Only
too. I don't know. There's a lot of speculation that allegedly, he gets paid to put out blinds,
paid by who?
from different camps
I doubt it. He's a liar. I do believe.
and stuff. No, I'm not saying he did.
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying that he said that. I don't have any proof that he
Yeah.
said that.
Everything we say is alleged. No more crazy makeup things.
All alleged, of course, but I did have Femme Tarot on my second
Ooh.
episode,
Cool.
and that is what she picked up on. I was just watching another one today from another tarot card reader, Aphrodite,
I like
I
him.
believe. Yeah.
I watched
So
that
I
one.
was watching one of his old ones, and it was talking about when Nicki Minaj was going after that um um celebrity blind items
Okay.
account.
Yeah,
Like
okay.
Nikki was attacking her because of a blind that she had spoken about that came from Enty, and it just caused this beef. But I was
Remember
listening to it, and he was picking up on, that people pay to have this information put out there. And who's the one that put the information out there? It was Enty. She was just the one, like so many other TikTokers, that was regurgitating it, and they think it's that
Right.
is coming from that female. Well, no, it's really coming behind the creepy man who is in his closet, doing,
And the green
what he's doing.
There's a little
So
girl in there
yeah.
upstairs, but I feel like he really screwed it. Like that. What was the girl's name that we lost her? She was doing.
Kyle Marissa.
Okay, yeah. I don't want to say her name wrong. Kyle Marissa. I feel like he completely took what she was doing the wrong way. She was giving him so much clout and so much talking about his blinds, everything. He was getting mad about it and threatening her and saying things that were completely threatening. And then she ends up, mysteriously unalived, or I don't know if whether she did it herself, but I feel like that whole situation that she went through was devastating, and I feel like that played a part in what happened. But
Yeah.
that is, I feel like blind items are dangerous there because what we're doing the same. Think about it. They're paying them to put out blind items. They're not blind anymore if the person's giving you the thing. I can cite sources of say a lot of Melissa, the Gorgas, and Teresa. They do give you stuff to put out. But if you consider that a blind item or an exclusive, or you know what I mean,
Right.
you can't sit there with like your receipts and stuff unless you have receipts, unless they give them to you. But then it's not blind anymore, you know.
No, but in regards to Kyle Marissa, that is something I will be covering in the 10th episode, and I have the Bish therapist joining for that episode. And in regards,
I don't know why it was so. I don't know what happened with her. Like, why was it so bad that her personally, her account had to be taken down? Like, that was a huge loss, and never is a devastating loss when you.
I don't know. I think that I don't know if that had to do with J-Lo. I don't know what that had to do with.
Somebody did it.
I do know her passing had to do, I think, because of scar tissue around the heart or something like that. I can't remember, so I don't want to misspeak, but I will have all those details correct
I'm curious
in the 10th episode. But no, I mean, I wish.
Scary.
I said this before in another episode. I wish he would just be honest. This is where I'm getting the information from. Like so many other TikTokers you follow that do deep dives.
Yes, like you
know,
always
just
were so
say
good.
this is where I got the information from. Just stop passing it off as bogus blinds.
I know. And I know, like, she got lucky with having a lot of people. She was really had a great following because she was so exciting to watch and so sweet and everything. And I just, you know, somebody like Enty, it's like watching an infomercial trying to get his blinds. Like, she's exciting, she was on there, but I do feel like that's where I get nervous and scared sometimes, like talking about certain things, because I don't want to, you know, like a certain person in Jersey was retaliating against all of people like me that he doesn't like. I was getting threats and death threats almost every other day from this person, you know? And it's like, that's where I get like, oh my God, I gotta kind of like be careful about what I do. And I have to like maybe back away from certain subjects because
especially anything with New Jersey that just
yeah,
became really toxic. But no, I mean, I try to be very careful about the blinds that I really don't share blinds anymore. I just discuss them on here. But I just try to really be careful about all those speculations that are put out there because you don't know who's going to be reading it. Is it going to be their child who's in 8th grade? Like it doesn't feel good, but
that's why I get mad with Teresa. I'm like, you know that your nieces and nephews are going to see this one day. This is your family. I know you're on TV, but you're saying things, you're putting out family secrets that shouldn't be coming from you. And you know that your nieces and nephews are going to watch this one day, and your kids are going to watch this when they grow up one day. Like, I know I try to be careful about repeating some certain things that I hear, but I made a rule a long time ago that I'm not going to talk about anything that I can't find on here. I mean, unless I can give my opinion, I can tell you what I think happened.
Right.
The situation, and I'm not going to ever like do an exclusive unless, you know, I don't want to hurt anybody. I'll talk about what's already out there. And
likewise.
Yeah.
But let's get back to the positive side of things. Reality TV has really evolved from its early days. How do you think shows like today, like Real Housewives or Love Island, reflect or shape the current landscape? Any just final thoughts on those shows?
So with fashion, it definitely has a lot to do with our fashion and our lingo, and I feel like it shapes and also it's like I'm telling you, we looked up to, like, I don't remember what we looked up to, but I like nowadays I feel like there's also the trends. It sets a lot of trends. Media, there's so much always going on. It's like it's literally Sports Center for people like us because it runs 24/7. You know, and like just literally highlighting all of everything that they, in the last, 15 years of reality TV, we could come up with so many iconic moments that have like literally became ingrained in our lives and like everyday household names. Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm acting crazy about reality TV, but I feel like, you know, people say to me, why do you talk, who cares about reality TV? I'm like, fucking a lot of people. Like, it runs like Sports Center. Like, you can go on social media any time of the day. There's still threads about Erica's divorce and whether she knew or not, still going from Thanksgiving Eve when she filed for divorce. Still, the same thread is going, and people will continue to talk about it. And I just feel like it gives everybody like a community to go to. Like, I know I keep saying reality TV and social media, but I just think it goes hand in hand. Like, we need it because where are we going to go after this? We talk about everything. We want to talk about it. And I just feel like it is such a pivotal part, social media, the influence that it has, the fashions, everything. Like there's like a podcast for everything about reality TV or pop culture.
Yeah.
And who goes to CNN for pop culture news? Nobody. You don't go to ABC. You go to any of those mainstream media for any of our news. There's true crime. You get true crime over on our, you know what I mean? There's like these different genres of reality TV, and that's considered reality TV. But we like to be involved in stuff. Like when people like us, we like to be involved. And then, I don't know, I just feel like it also with TikTok too, the younger generation has a chance to like see what we like, learn what we've already known, like about Housewives. I love going on there and seeing like these younger girls talking about like flipping the table. I'm like, I love this. But, you know, it also has a lot of influence on how I think and how like our real lives too. Like people say it doesn't, but you know, like I looked up to like Mike the Situation. I look up to Carl Radke because I'm going through my own struggles. But there's a lot of things that we watch on these shows that we can relate to, and we're like, oh my God, they were really just like us. They're not A-list celebrities, and they are also going through things that we go through, and I feel like people can relate to them if they have the issues that people have.
Honest to God, yeah.
Looking
back to Brittany and Jack, sorry to cut you off. Brittany and Jax, and being in that type of toxic relationship where you're a new mom, there are so many women that are in situations like that, and one very dear and near to my heart.
Yes.
That seeing her go through that and walk away from that is hopefully giving that person some strength to know that they know better and maybe get the hopefully they know better and can do something the same so they are not stuck with a Jax for the rest of their life. You know, there's so many different impacts because you get to see in their life and really evaluate yours and again learn from it.
Look what Scandal did to everybody. Scandal, for some reason, I was 3 a.m. I was sweating. I was like, literally from like France. Gabby's calling me. She's like, we gotta go live right now. And she's like, telling me, I'm like, no. And I'm like sweating. And I'm like, why are we so affected by this? But literally, when Scandal happened, I think we can mention Scandal to anybody in the world and they'll like have an inkling of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
But Jax Taylor on the backs of Scandal got a podcast, a reality show, a bar that he only used 12.5% of because he has 3 partners. He's a blind partner. So he put no money up, and then he has to give 12.5% to Brittany. So Jax, you only owe 12. I hope he watches this because he won't watch me. You owe 12.5% of your bar. You don't own a bar, dude. It's not your bar, and you destroy everything that comes good in your life. And Brittany will come out on top.
Yeah.
Because we did watch her from the very beginning. We watched him cheat on her. We watched her find out. We watched her talk about, you know, play that tape with him or whatever it was, recording of him cheating on her, talking about her.
You can rot in hell. You did have sex with her?
Yes, it's true. Yes.
Rotten hell. And you deserve to rot in hell. You deserve to rot in hell.
Talking about her. Then they get mad. Then he loses his dad. We think he's changed. Like, we have watched them go through so much. Their wedding was a disaster. Their marriage was a disaster. Their valley was amazing. And then they get it's like, as much as I can't stand him, I root for Jax sometimes because I used to be Jax. That's my problem. Yeah. I used to be just like him. And we met in AC back in like before, like two seasons in. And that's where we got in an argument. He called me Jersey trash and all. But like, I realized watching him, he wouldn't let me post. That's how he blocked me. But I realized watching him, I was just like him. And he has not evolved out of the selfishness that wanting to be something he's not, always wanting what everybody else has. He said, he's like, I'm always comparing myself to everybody else. And that's the one thing, like with reality, with these shows, the people that don't need the money, like, see, like Teresa doesn't have a real job, but like somebody like Vicky, she literally will be fine with or without it. She was classy and rich before the show. She'll be classy and rich after. She's not going to act a fool on TV unless she just wants attention. But like, you have people that literally, like Lisa Rinna, got so desperate to be holding on to a show that you never had before. Like, this is something you can't hold on to. Like Kim Zolciak, you cannot depend on this. It's fun, but like Joe Gorga, he's never going to be broke because he was successful before the show, during the show, after the show. Teresa, they're all trying to destroy these cast members, and the cast members that don't need the show, don't need the money, and they're just doing it for, a platform. Like Candace, look at Candace did with her platform. It's like we have them. Like, why can't everybody be a Candace and just
I
come out?
know. I miss her so much.
I can't believe it. I'm so mad at Bravo. There's so many things they did that I don't understand.
Yeah, she will be back, but hopefully this will not be the demise of Bravo.
I even told them to see, this is what we can do. Say we're talking about them, we see them on TV. We can get a hold of them and tell them to do their show on YouTube and on their podcast. They'll have more views on there than they would on regular TV. Think about it. We would be so invested if they would do a little reality show with Chris, her, the baby. How many people would watch that?
Yeah, it would be really cute.
Not have to worry about giving any of it to Bravo.
Yeah.
Why not?
She made the best decision in doing so.
Definitely. And she left basically.
I commend her for that.
Yeah, she didn't leave on like a bad term. You know what I mean? She left. Everybody loves her still. Like, she bowed out gracefully. And I remember her saying to Chris, said, leave it 5 years. If you can't make anything out of this out of 5 years, like when they were talking about going on it, she was the least, she said, like, she didn't have her college degree. She had like nothing. And over those at times, she became an actor. She got her college degree. She's literally like, I don't know, a CNA, whatever she is, some kind of like, I don't know. She got some kind of degree. I don't know. I'm like stupid when it comes to that.
I can't remember either.
Yeah, but just to do that and then to come out better than what they all said that she wouldn't on that show, her singing career, her acting career, like, come on, you can take these platforms and really make your life like be.
If you put the hard work into it, and you're also
be
genuine.
And also you want to be. You don't want. See, I would want somebody to be like, I would want to be not the villain. I would want people to like look up to me or like, be like, oh, she went through that or she went through this or whatever. You can't do that with people like Teresa. Like, you can't look at her and go, oh, she's grown. I want to be just like her.
No, I wish.
I know.
Like, even though she drives me crazy, just like Jax, I'm still rooting for her. I still want nothing but the best for her and her daughters. The person she's married to is a different story.
Yeah,
I don't like watching her on TV anymore because of who she's with, but I still really, really, really want the best for her. There's a housewife I'm rooting the most for. It might be her. Just
right now we have to worry about her. We
go
need
in
her.
a different direction. Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, I think if Louis was gone, I don't think she would change. Her heart's not going to change. Her heart, something broke in her a long time ago. And like, this is really sad. Like, Joey's mourning his sister. There's no going back. So there's things that have been said now that they will really never go back from. And you can't. You just can't, no matter what. Like, you can't.
Well, I think her heart broke because of jail and the loss of her parents and who sweeps in right then and puts an earworm in her head. But we won't get into that topic because
I would go for hours. I know.
I don't need any crazies after me, please.
Oh, really?
I come in peace, guys. I come in
blame
peace.
me. Blame me. I didn't say anything wrong. Just blame me.
I come in peace.
I'm just being tough love. So.
But Krista, if you could pick one reality show from today's lineup that you think would have a lasting legacy in pop culture, which one would it be and why?
I would say Real Housewives, Bravo's Real Housewives, all of them. It has lasted. It can be toxic, but I do believe they still have it in them to have something that we can watch and enjoy watching these ladies. They don't have to be mega rich. The cotton candy drama, conflict resolution. I feel like Housewives is my ultimate all time. Like, I do feel like that is the one show that it's transcended over time, just like Bachelor has. And even though it's changed, the landscape has changed with it. There's diversity. There's a lot of discussions that come out of it, a lot of important discussions that come out of it.
Yeah.
And they also involve, I said, they transcend or involve with time. Like, even though we are starting to get to, like, we found the Monica, that we still find Housewives gems. But I do feel it gives them such a good platform too, to like start to really like, do something good for people. But I do feel like they have a lasting effect on all of us. And I think it's good. I think it might evolve into like different types of Real Housewives shows.
Yeah.
But one is definitely that. I want to say Bachelor too, because they're the two that I literally are. I feel like the entire nation watches, or the entire world watches both of them.
And they have the strongest fan base.
They do. and the craziest fan base.
Yes, loyal and crazy. So
that is to the fan base is a big thing.
We love so hard.
We do. I'm not angry, guys. I'm just passionate.
Yes.
And once the voices go down, these people and their problems are not our people or our problems. We just you know what I mean? They're not. I'm not angry, guys. I swear. People think I'm angry. I'm just Jersey. And listen, my mom, the way I deal with things, I don't sugarcoat it, and it comes off like I'm angry. I'm really not. I'm not. It's just I smile. Like we were talking about her. Like I feel like you have to get to know me to love me and to watch me. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I'm all over the place. I probably didn't even answer your questions the right way.
No, you did.
I tried, but
don't doubt yourself.
I was nervous too, though. But I do feel I want to start doing interviews. I'm very proud of you, by the way.
Thank you.
And I'm like, oh my God, look at her. You're just very you're so positive, and your face is so radiant, and you have all the good stuff, and you take time to do it too. Like, I'm not trying to be lazy, but I love the fact that you do your deep dives, and you really do get excited about the information, and we get excited to talk about it. And
thank you. But Krista, you do a lot of work going live those 3 days, and for how long you're doing, and owning the chat room and being able to just continuously talk. That is, you've put out a lot of content. So, that's equally as hard. So, well, that was such a fun conversation. Krista, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on everything from reality TV to Celeb Blinds. It's always a blast getting your perspective on the ever-evolving world of pop culture. For everyone listening, if you haven't already, make sure to check out Krista's podcast, Reality with Krista Marie. And what's the non-YouTube version again? I do apologize.
Okay, so YouTube is at Reality with Krista Marie, but the Who's Study on podcast is only on the podcast platforms. You can watch all the episodes on YouTube as well. They are recorded there, but I'm Reality with Krista Marie on all the platforms. So follow me on all of them, Instagram, because when I'm live, I'm on all 5 of them. So
yes, doing the thing, and she's always spilling the best tea in the latest pop culture news. And for those of you tuning in, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Pop Culture Expose. We've covered 2010s to present day. But next week, we're diving in even deeper, shifting gears, taking a look at how celebrity culture and social media have become inseparable, kind of like Krista and I's conversation today. So you won't want to miss it. And until then, I am Danielle, and this has been Pop Culture Expose. See you next time. Bye. Thank you, Krista.
Tune into the buzz, it's the talk of the day. From Bravo shows to the latest celeb spree, we've got the tea, come sip it with me. Danny Gossip, Pop Culture Expose. We're spilling all the secrets every single